What if gardening could still heal you even when you can't bend, lift, dig, or go outside at all? If illness or injury or burnout or even grief has ever kept you out of the garden, this conversation is for you. You're still a gardener, even when your body says that you need to rest. So if you're in the team replay, tell us what season you're in right now. Maybe you want to talk about what happened last year. Maybe you already know what's going to go on this next gardening season. You could be gardening right now. Are you resting? Are you having growth in your garden? Are you counting on a giant harvest? So, gardening is more than physical work. So, we've talked about on the channel your brain on gardening, right? It has a lot to do with how our whole parasympathetic nervous system works. You can check out previous conversations that we've had about that. But we do know that we have observation as a gardening skill. I am having ginger turmeric tea if you want to put what tea you've been enjoying this week down in the comment section. Planning is a gardening skill. Maybe you are writing seed lists or grow lists of what you really wish you could buy, and it's just a dream, but it's not reality. Maybe you're looking at a bird's eye view and you're making a blueprint. Rest is part of the growing cycle. And seeds actually do spend most of their life underground waiting for those right conditions. The light, the temperature, the oxygen, the medium all have to happen in this wonderful timing for them to say, okay, it's go time, right? Ways to garden without physical strain. I'm going to give you some ideas. If you have any ideas outside of what I've mentioned, please put them down in the comment section. So there's the whole window watching the spot where you garden, your land, your little patio. Look for the light and the shadows. Watch for where snow melts first. Those are your warm spots. Watch for pollinators during gardening season. The seed catalog dreaming, right? They are easy to sign up for. I have many that if I just fill in, an email and an address, they'll send you a catalog for free in hopes that you order something from them. Maybe you want to do it digitally or create wish lists, and perhaps someone can ask, like, hey, what do you want for your birthday or what do you want for Christmas? And you can send them your wish list. Garden journaling. Who does this? Let me know in the comment section. I was looking at a garden journaling book for kids to help us walk through like the sentences to go, okay, here's the blank page and here's the medium to use, and we're outside of the garden, and then what can we see, or how do you feel? I'm getting a book to kind of coach us through how to get our brains around that, because I think that would be really beneficial. So you can be writing down memories or hopes, or maybe you're someone that's good at doodling and you want to do sketches. You can even be naming future beds or themes. If you want to see our garden themes for the suggestions this year, we did a live stream about that. Taco garden, soup garden, mocktail garden, and even more. Check that out in the replay. It'll be linked below in the description. So maybe you are able to watch others garden or have garden conversations, because even if you're not actively gardening, you are still a gardener. So here on YouTube, you can find a plethora of different channels like this one that speaks and talks and shows and teaches about gardening. The live streams are so fun to be able to interact with the chat, and that we're catching up with each other and we're listening at the same time. Maybe you can go to a community garden and take a walk around, and someone might actually share their harvest with you. Strength from the community. So, what are some healing practices rooted in gardening? Holding seeds. This is a sensory grounding thing. Smelling dried herbs, just the smell of soil, right? Listening to garden sounds or rain recordings. This makes me think of the ASMR craze that goes around. You can watch people harvest, and that's what you hear is the plucking of something and the leaves, all that. Making plant labels or some kind of marker for your pots, containers, beds. Pressing flowers or leaves. Have you ever done this where you take the flower and you press it And then I don't know what you do with it. You get all artsy with it. Maybe you have some ideas. Throw them out there in the chat or in the comments. Maybe I'll do some with my kids. Micro gardening for limited mobility. What does this look like? It can be one pot on a table. Usually, not everywhere, but most places, the kitchen sink it has a window. Now, not so much in an apartment. Um, but depending on which way it's facing, you could put a little plant there. The indoor herbs sprouting in jars, cut and come again greens, propagating in water. How many of you propagate cuttings of plants in water? Tell me in the comment section. Emotional healing and identity. Okay, so this is where we're talking about grief. Grief when gardens change, grief when weather changes and does something drastic, losing strength or ability and having that grief, feeling less than other gardeners. Letting go of comparison is kind of what I'm getting at here. Yes, you can feel the grief, just understand you don't have to compare yourself to everywhere else in the internet. Or even when you are going to town and you're looking at people's gardens, that is, everyone has their own unique gardening abilities and creativity and money. Like, it's different everywhere you go. So there is a bit of grief in gardening. Now, gardening meets us where we are, not where we think we should be. Gardens we can visit, even when we can't garden. Borrowing gardens when you can't tend your own. Should we call it that? Borrowing gardens. So there's, the community gardens, you can still belong to a garden even if you don't have a plot. Maybe somebody wants help. Maybe you just want to sit and enjoy the gardening vibe, right? There's also walking paths or sitting nearby, watching people tend to the plants, seasonal changes without labor. Many places around usually have somewhere where you can sit. The specialty farms, okay? So these are just some samples. Look near you what kind of things there are. So potato or onion farms, apple orchards, sweet corn trucks, a CSA, which is a community supported agriculture farm. They probably offer in-season produce box subscriptions that you can go pick up. Some do delivery depending on location. The farmers markets are a great place to go and be with the plants and walk around and talk to people about plants. And then, of course, if you're lucky enough to have a U-Pick farm, they can sell things by the case and pick things for you if you're in a season where you cannot do that, but you still want that fresh harvest, that nutritional value of having something quick like that off the plant. So we ask ourselves, what is possible, not what's expected? Helping others process seeds, right? Maybe someone brought in a whole bunch of dried flower heads and they need help shaking the seeds out of them. Maybe someone is a really hardcore seed saver and they need help packaging the seeds and labeling them and organizing them. You can sit and do that with them, and that would be so great. Have a nice beverage, chit chat, maybe watch some YouTube, right? Reach out to people if that's something that you want to help them with. If you are unfamiliar with seed saving basics, there's a live stream here on the channel with Robin Gardens. Check that out. We also have a series once a month where we talk about roots and rambles. So we're digging to the root of gardening advice and rambling on about it. And February's topic is winter sowing. So we're going to give you the details on what is made for winter sowing in your climate. Are you even in a category that would have winter sowing? What are the different containers and methods of doing it? Robin's going to have all kinds of show and tell. So that'll be in February. Make sure you are subscribed to be notified when we have that live stream. Now, there's also garden tours or open farm days. Some places, even the fairgrounds, will have like a children's sponsored garden plot or a community sponsored garden area, and you can go when they have these open farm days, and sometimes you can get on a wagon that a tractor pulls and they'll pull you in around, and you can get out and look at the plants and look at what combinations they did. one-day experiences, no commitment. It's inspiration without the burnout, right? So gardens exist beyond our fences. When we can't tend our own, we're allowed to lean on others. We are allowed to have that community, okay? Now, if you're interested in helping out the channel in more ways other than liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting, we do have memberships. They're starting at $1. It helps pay for things like our book reviews once a month. We have a gardening book where we open it and we talk about it. And I already have the book ready for February, so make sure that you stick around to have that video come up. Members get extra. Maybe it's an extra video, it's an extra printable. They get a little bit more for helping provide for the channel. We do have a merch store where you can find fuzzy blankets, canvas totes. There's a new shirt, Turn Gardens into Pantries, puzzles for winter nights, stickers for seed bins. So make sure you check that out. Link in the description. With that being said, thanks for gathering around. Keep creating, keep experimenting, and keep growing every day in every way.